Namaste. I am Dr. Utkarsh Modi, and today we'll be continuing with sleep, predominantly talking about sleep disorders. This is again a part of Unit 6 Allied Sciences, General Psychology. I will be talking about the disorders of sleep, going through parasomnias, circadian rhythm disorders, sleep deprivation, and also talking briefly about dreams. Now, what are the disorders of sleep? They are broadly divided into dysomnias and parasomnias. Dysomnia is basically a disturbance of normal sleep phenomenon, which includes insomnia, hypersomnia, circadian rhythm disorder, and breathing related disorder. Whereas parasomnia is occurrence of abnormal phenomenon during sleep. So first, let's talk about insomnia. Insomnia is difficulty in initiating or maintaining sleep. Sometimes there can also be paradoxical insomnia, in which although the duration of sleep is adequate, there is a misperception that a person is not able to sleep for adequate time. This is the most, insomnia is the most common dysomnia which is seen. Along with that, other dysomnias include hypersomnia, which is excessive amounts of sleep or even daytime sleepiness, and narcolepsy. So, narcolepsy is a condition which is characterized by excessive sleepiness as well as auxiliary symptoms that represent the intrusion of aspects of REM sleep into the waking state. I have already covered the basics of REM and NREM sleep in our previous video on basics of sleep. So the sleep attacks of narcolepsy represent episodes of irresistible sleepiness leading to perhaps 10 to 20 minutes of sleep, after which the patient feels refreshed, at least briefly. They can occur at inappropriate times also, for example, while eating, while talking, while driving. Basically, what happens is the REM sleep intrudes into normal wakefulness. As we know, REM sleep is associated with complete loss of muscle tone. Hence, it leads to cataplexy. Cataplexy is sudden loss of muscle tone. Other associated symptoms also include hypnopompic, which is during the onset of sleep, and hypnagogic, which is waking up from sleep. The hypnopompic and hypnagogic hallucinations, although sometimes seen in normal states, they are characteristically associated with narcolepsy. Apart from insomnia and hypersomnia, other dysomnias we saw includes circadian rhythm sleep disorder. So, already discussed in the previous video, our body has a 25-hour internal clock which is regulated to 24 hours of circadian rhythm, and this regulates our sleep wake cycle. Disturbances in this cycle lead to circadian rhythm sleep disorders. Now, the first part is sleep phase disorders. These are of two types. The first one is delayed sleep phase disorder. It occurs when the biological clock runs slower than 24 hours. So individuals with delayed sleep phase are more alert in the evening and early night time, and they stay up later, but are generally more tired in the morning, and these are commonly referred to as night owls. The other type of sleep phase disorder is advanced sleep phase disorder. So in advanced sleep phase disorder, the rhythm cycle is shifted earlier. So the individuals with advanced sleep phase disorder are drowsy in the evening and want to retire to bed early. They awaken earlier and are more alert in early in the morning. So they are often called as early birds or larks. Now something to understand is it is only a disorder if your normal functioning is affected. Lot of times there can be transient changes in circadian rhythm which are associated with different situations or circumstances. For example, a lot of college students tend to stay up late in the night just before the exam and study throughout the night. Now, this is not a sleep phase disorder, as it is not hampering your ability to study and ability to function. Other circadian rhythm disorders are jet lag. We all know when an individual rapidly travels across many time zones, there is either a circadian phase advance or a phase delay, and this depends on the direction of travel, which causes again an advance or delay in the phase. Similar thing is also seen in shift workers, uh, because some individuals require only a short time to adjust to shift change, whereas others have great difficulty in adjusting to this changes in the shift timings. And also frequently rotating their shifts adds to the problem. Along with this, what often happens is throughout the week, a person will maintain a night shift rhythm, but during the weekends, that person would want to spend time with family or friends and would try to suddenly change their sleep cycle, which often leads to insomnia and sleep deprivation. Now, the fourth type is disorganized sleep wake pattern, in which there is no particular pattern or clear pattern which is established. The other dysomnias are breathing related disorders. In breathing, we need to understand what we mean by apnea. Apnea mainly means cessation of breathing for more than 10 seconds. There can be various reasons for apnea. As we know, breathing is essential to maintain the oxygen levels in the blood, which, which result in functioning of our body. And it is essential for our brain also to function. So one type of apnea is central sleep apnea, which tends to occur more often in elderly with the failure of the central nervous system mechanisms to stimulate breathing. Our breathing is regulated by certain areas in the brain. If during sleep these areas of the brain are suppressed or not functioning adequately, they can cause cessation of breathing during sleep. So, this is characterized mainly by absence of a respiratory effort. So, there is no attempt of the person to breathe when he suffers from central sleep apnea in sleep. Uh, the other type is obstructive sleep apnea. So this is characterized by repetitive collapse or partial collapse of the upper airway during sleep. We know that snoring, which happens very often in sleep, is mainly because of collapse of our airway because our muscles become relaxed. And when air passes through this collapsed airway, it it causes vibration of the structures in the airway and makes the sound of snoring. Now, if the collapse of airways to such an extent that it obstructs the path, then it can lead to an obstructive sleep apnea. Now, these periods of functional obstruction of the upper airway results in decrease in blood oxygen circulation, and it also can cause transient arousal from sleep and causes sleep disturbances. So, it has been differentiated from central sleep apnea by presence of breathing efforts during the periods of apnea. Now, obstructive sleep apnea has been associated with a lot of metabolic and health problems, like hypertension, increased incidence of cardiac uh, cardiac failure, increased incidence of stroke, and also associated with diabetes. So, identification and correction of obstructive sleep apnea is essential. The other aspect in breathing related disorders is hypopnea, which is abnormally shallow breathing. it is not necessarily pathological. So we covered the various dysomnias which are seen. Now let's talk about parasomnias. As I said, parasomnias mainly mean unusual or undesirable phenomenon occurring during sleep or during the threshold of waking and sleeping. It is usually seen in NREM stage 3 or 4. First type of parasomnia is somnambulism, which is also known as sleepwalking. It is seen during NREM sleep and can manifest as complex actions also. So, in this, an individual arises from bed and moves around without fully awakening. Uh, there have been reports in which a person sometimes tends to walk downstairs, goes and gathers food, or in unfortunate circumstances, some people also cause injury to themselves by falling or falling down the stairs or falling out of even out of a window. The other type of parasomnias is night terror, which is sudden arousal with intense fearfulness. Usually begins with a piercing scream or cry, and it is associated with manifestations of intense anxiety. So the person usually sits up in bed, unresponsive to stimuli, and if he is awakened, he will be confused or disoriented. And usually, a person who experiences night terrors does not recall why the person is exhibiting so much anxiety. This is in contrast to nightmares. So, nightmares are seen in REM sleep, whereas night terrors are seen in NREM sleep. Nightmares are basically frightening or terrifying dreams, and they usually involve a very long, complicated dream that becomes increasingly frightening. And the person suddenly gets aroused to wakefulness. They typically remember the dream. Some nightmares are recurrent and reportedly occur. When they occur, they may be associated with disorders like post-traumatic stress disorder, wherein there might be recollection of the actual events which have happened in the past. Continuing with parasomnias, sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis, as the name implies, is the inability to make voluntary movements during sleep. It becomes a parasomnia when it occurs at sleep onset or on sleep awakening. That is the time when the individual is partially conscious and aware of the surroundings. As you can imagine, it can be extremely distressing as it is as a person is awake or just reaching arousal but unable to move. It is transient and resolves spontaneously. Now, REM sleep behavioral disorders or RBD. This involves a failure of the patient to have atonia in REM sleep. We've already discussed that REM sleep is characterized by muscle atonia. So, it is basically acting out of the dream. So, patient literally enacts his or her dreams, and without this paralysis which is there, the patient will be punching, kicking, leaping, running, or even walking out of bed during this attempted dream enactment. Another common parasomnia which is seen is bruxism. Bruxism is nothing but tooth grinding. Individual grinds or clenches the sleep during sleep, and this sleep bruxism can produce abnormal wear and tear of the teeth. It can damage your teeth. It can provoke tooth and jaw pain or make loud, unpleasant sounds that disturb the bed partner. Parasomnia is also associated with periodic limb movement disorders, which is basically abrupt movement muscle contractions during sleep. The person is usually unaware of these movements and it might be associated with brief arousal. Now, nocturia is nothing but frequent need to pass urine at night. It generally disturbs the quality of sleep because there will be frequent awakenings. Now, sleep deprivation, although it's not a sleep disorder, but it's important to understand because multiple sleep disorders are associated with sleep deprivation. So 90% adults usually sleep 7 hours per night. But if they do not get adequate duration of sleep, it leads to multiple problems, which includes even health risks, cognitive deficits, and problems in attention and concentration. It can lead to daytime drowsiness, loss of alertness, and energy, which leads to many mistakes and accidents. Now, another aspect of sleep is dreams, which is important to understand. So, dreams are basically any of the images, thoughts, and emotions that are experienced during sleep. Now, one of the pioneers who tried to explore the concept of dreams is Dr. Sigmund Freud, where he published a book called The Interpretation of Dreams. Now, this formed the seminal work on dream analysis. Dreams are known to be essential for mental, emotional, and physical well being. Freud described them as being the royal road to the unconscious mind. But subsequently, there have been numerous theories to explain dreams. Few of them include, first, obviously, being Freud, where he said that it is a representation of unconscious desires, thoughts, and motivations. So, by analysis of the dreams, he sought to resolve unconscious conflicts of an individual and thus curing the patient. Other theories include activation synthesis model by Hobson and McClary. So, as dreams are more commonly seen in REM sleep, which is associated with activation of the brain. So, according to this model, dreams are basically an attempt of the brain to give meaning to this activation. Other theories include the cognitive theory, which states that dreams are basically a result of the brain trying to interpret the internal and external stimuli during sleep. So, activation of the brain creates loose connections between thoughts and ideas, and which are then guided by the person's emotions, leading to dreams. So, that was a brief overview of sleep disorders and a brief introduction to dreams. Thank you.